Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day, law enforcement is increasing its DWI efforts. It's all done to try and create more safety on the road. Eric Nelson joins us now with more on that. Eric?
Yeah, Delane, the Minnesota Department of Public Safety says there is usually an uptick in the number of DWI offenses, and accidents increase between late November and early January. DPS officials want to remind folks that they need to make good decisions.
The simplest way to keep yourself out of the backseat of a squad car, an ambulance, or a hearse is to make sure that you have a plan and you stick to it. So make sure you've got that designated driver, a ride service, or some way that's not going to make you into a position where you make a bad decision.
Now, another no-no on the highway is using your phone. Minnesota's hands-free law went into effect on August 1st. The DPS says it's too early to look at any trends and how much of an impact the law is making. Officers are seeing more compliance, but also say some drivers have slipped back into bad habits. The only thing allowed is single touch or voice activation. Texting or internet surfing is simply too risky.
Is this interaction with that electronic device worth putting myself and everybody else on the road in danger because of that interaction? I think most of us would understand that there are very few things that we need to do that can't wait until we can get to a safe place to do that out of traffic.
The DPS also recommends that drivers slow down and leave plenty of space between the car or truck in front of them. Another key is to always wear your seatbelt when traveling on the road. Delane?
All right, thank you, Eric. Charities and nonprofits are also looking toward the new year. Reporter Sonia Goins explains how the time between now and January 1st is one of their busiest times of year as they accept year-end donations.
Many Ark Value Village donors lined up at the drive-thru to drop off their generous donations. One truck was packed full of boxes.
We always see an uptick in donations towards the end of the year.
There are folks who want a tax receipt before the end of the year.
The tax write-off is a good benefit, but as you do know, the tax law has changed, so it's not as much of a benefit for some people, but it can still be beneficial.
Ark supports people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Proceeds from the donations go right back into the community.
We can always use clothing. That's a big draw, but accessories as well.
This is also a busy time at SEEP in Brooklyn Center.
The donations are needed now more than ever.
It's estimated nearly 1/3 of annual giving happens in the month of December, and 12% of all donations occur in the last 3 days of the year.
It is one of our highest times of generosity and philanthropy throughout our community.
SEEP serves about 1,500 people per month and says that they could really use the donations, especially since they're opening a new location in Brooklyn Park.
We are doubling our food shelf appointments, and because at SEEP it's not just about helping our neighbors right now, but it's really propelling us forward for the next year.
The nonprofit takes food donations and used clothing for their thrift store, but organizers say they could really use cash too because they can stretch dollars to serve more people.
Every donation that you give is put right back into our programming, so it kind of helps us continue to feed our neighbors.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
With the new year just around the corner, a local Italian restaurant is inviting you for the last big meal of the decade. Reporter Pafua Yang takes us inside Nonna Rosa's restaurant.
In the heart of Robbinsdale's historic business district, you'll get a whiff of fresh Italian aroma coming from the small kitchen of Nonna Rosa's restaurant.
Yep, I'll make the salads.
But food lovers will notice something different this New Year's Eve.
We throw out the old menu, the one that people love.
Co-owner Tina Sulio says instead, customers will get a special menu.
So we've created kind of an Italian dining experience that is very similar to what you would find if you're going out to dinner in Italy or other areas of Europe.
On Tuesday, all entrees will come with 5 antipasti, also known as appetizers.
Arancini means little orange or little ball of orange. So at first glance, you might think it looks a little like a citrus fruit, but it doesn't. On the inside, you're going to find that it has a delicious combination of risotto, which is Italian rice, marinara, and mozzarella cheese.
Every customer will also get a taste of the shrimp cocktail, roasted mushrooms, walleye cakes, and caprese salad. The new menu will have options including the chicken saltimbocca.
Now, chicken saltimbocca is literally translated in Italian to jump in your mouth. The flavors kind of combine together to make just like a little festive adventure in your mouth.
Not only is Nonna Rosa celebrating the new year, but 2020 will mark their 10-year anniversary.
All right, well, I'm going to verify that the floor is set up for tonight's reservations.
The milestone marks the restaurant's success, but it's also a celebration of the community's love for their Italian culture.
Italian food has always been known to be a celebratory option, and so we love sharing that with people on New Year's Eve.
In Robbinsdale, Pafu Yang, CCX News.
During New Year's Eve, Nonna Rosa's will be seating customers until 10 p.m. People looking to get their New Year's started on a healthy note will have plenty of opportunities to do so over the coming week. From December 28th to January 5th, all Lifetime Fitness locations across Minnesota will be open to everyone, regardless of whether you have a club membership. It's part of the company's annual Commitment Day celebration to get people thinking about living a healthier lifestyle. Throughout the course of the week, Lifetime will have different exercise events happening each day so people can explore activities that are right for them. For a full list of events, you can go to commitmentday.com, and registration is required.
After a rough start, the Wayzata boys hockey team is finding its groove. The Trojans are hosting the new Tradition at the Pick tournament in conjunction with the Tradition at the Park tournament at St. Louis Park Rec Center. Here's Jason Malillo with more.
The Tradition in the Park Holiday Hockey Classic is getting bigger this season with Tradition at the Pick. 8 additional teams will skate at Plymouth Ice Center, including Wayzata.
I think John was just doing a good job of, kind of getting teams from around here that don't, want to travel too much. And, what we're looking for over the holiday, obviously, is, knowing who we're going to play, high quality opponents every single time. He just approached me and said that, we're thinking about expanding it to 16 teams, and Plymouth has shown, the interest in hosting one of the sides, and that was no-brainer for me, obviously, being able to play here with, our home rink. And when he told me what the lineup was, I was pretty happy about that. Some teams that we don't play regularly.
I think it's really great that we have it here because we love playing here, and I think we're a lot better playing here. And it's just great. We get to play teams that we haven't played a lot, like Blaine and them. They're good, skilled teams with skilled players, and I think that's going to be a good test for us.
Wayzata is a loose group that likes to have fun, and the Trojans' resilience after starting the season with 3 losses is a testament to the relationships of players and coaches. The boys never doubted their talent and never lost faith in each other.
I would say the strength of this team is that we're really good teammates. We really all play well together. The connection between us off and on the ice is great, and it translates to game time. Every practice we battle against each other 100%, and it really gets us ready for all games.
After the 0-3 start, we kind of just, I feel like we got closer in a way, and kind of just after that first win, we just kept going, and we haven't stopped since.
Wayzata will ride a 6-game unbeaten streak into its first game of the holiday tournament against 4th-ranked Hill Murray on Thursday night. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
The Trojans did beat Hill Murray in overtime. Well, Benilde St. Margaret's is the host team for the Tradition in the Park portion of that tournament. And Benilde faced Holy Family in round 1. Benilde leads 1-0 after 1, but the fire draw even early in the second as Trey Faco sets up Lucas Jorgensen for the goal. Then Tyler Heisey splits the Benilde defense and walks in. His shot is stopped, but Jacob McPartland puts the rebound away, and it's 2-1 Holy Family. But the Red Knights tie at 37 seconds later. Charlie Warner's shot finds its way in, and it's 2-2. Then early in the third, Benilde pulls ahead again as Nate Schweitzer sets up Adam Marshall for the one-timer, and the Red Knights go on to win this one 4-3. While ice conditions vary from lake to lake, most are at least safe to walk on if you want to go out ice fishing. It's time to fire up our ice fishing tip series again with Hall of Fame angler Terry Tuma. In this first tip of the season, Terry talks about the mental approach to take when out on the lake.
Welcome to another series of ice fishing tips right here on CCX Media. We're going to cover a lot of new areas, if you would, and answer several questions that have been asked at seminars. First of all, I'm going to call this the mind game tip, meaning motivation. You know, are you motivated in going out there? Do you have the right equipment with you? Is your mindset that I'm going to catch fish today? That's a big factor. The other is experience. You know, take that experience that you have had in the past and apply it to today's fishing trip. Knowledge. Every time we go out, we should always learn something. In fact, I even will write down the tip that I feel that's going to be well worth bringing it forward to the public after about 2 or 3 years. Very important. Always try to learn something. And the other is patience. Patience is a big factor in catching fish. And then, of course, your plan of attack is another. How am I going to approach this body of water? Just really try to relate to his mind game. You can go on and on with the mind game, but there's a lot more to fishing than just fishing lures and rods and reels and line.